the mud?
Well, Stan, as a matter of fact, I have, and then you got to end up walking a country mile to find a 4x4 or somebody that can pull you out.
Well, tonight we've got competition for anyone who's ever been stuck in the mud.
And the object of this competition is to see who can make the quickest exit through this mud pit that most normal vehicles will get stuck.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stan Rhodes. Working alongside with me, former Bigfoot driver Rich Hooser. And Rich, we really have anything but normal vehicles tonight.
That's right, Stan. This is the unlimited class of mud bog racing. It's like the funny cars of drag racing. Now, these guys will have bodies that will be made of fiberglass, but they do have to resemble a factory-built vehicle. The engines, there's no limitation to horsepower or cubic inches. They'll be running blowers, and they'll be injected on alcohol. Some of them running nitro.
All right. Also working alongside with us, TNT Motorsports' Mike Goss.
Let's go see what he's up to.
Well, thanks, guys. Like you, I've been stuck on a muddy road a couple of times, but nothing like this mud bog pit at Coweta Raceway. It's 200 feet long from start to finish, 30 feet wide, and at the muckiest part of the track, it's 3 feet deep. There's an additional 600 feet of shutdown space at the end of the track. These vehicles will need every inch of that because they expect to travel through the bog at 100 miles an hour in less than 3 seconds. You won't see too many of these vehicles getting stuck in the mud.
Get yourself set as we go mud bogging right after this.
Brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
And welcome to the American Outlaw Super Shootout, the 5th annual Mud Bog Nationals at Coweta Raceway Park in Newnan, Georgia. And there are several classes of mud bog racers that are featured at the American Outlaw Super Shootout, such as the 4x4 street stock class. As you see here, this will be driven by Earl Burns in Bad News.
One thing about this street class, now these vehicles are street legal. They have a tire height of 38 inches, and they can only do very few things to the engines. Now, they can run aluminum manifolds and headers, but that's really just about it.
The big thing, Rich, is they must be street legal.
Yeah, that's right, Stan. They got to be street legal, but I tell you what, look at this guy, the way he's driving this. Do you think his wife knows he's got this street legal truck out here in this mud today?
I would imagine not, Rich, but there he is, Earl Burns, Bad News, with a 5.58 seconds, best in the class for street stock. And next up, it will be Southern Tradition 2, driven by Timmy Bruce in the Pro Street.
Yeah, now, Stan, this class here is the next grade up from the street stock. Now, I used to run this class myself in a Jeep. Now, you can do a lot of engine work to these. You can change the manifolds. You can put bigger carburetors on. As you can see, he's running a little bit faster, a little bit harder than that last guy. He comes through the pit with a great run.
Looks like the cab and the chassis was about to separate.
Yeah, they do a lot of bounces. You can see he comes up in the air, but that Chevy half-ton just holds together.
And a good win for Timmy Bruce in Southern Tradition 2 with a time of 5.61. And now we're ready for the main event, the open class.
That's right, Stan. This is the open unlimited class. Just like it says, these vehicles are unlimited. They don't have no limitation to horsepower, and they can only be 140 inches long, though.
This is an interesting vehicle driven by Tony Lannis out of Tampa, Florida, Dream Chaser, an aluminum simulated S10 Chevy pickup. You're gonna have to have a lot of imagination there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of horsepower. He's having a little problems here right away. It looks like he's got a little bit of smoke. I think he might have some problems with his nitrous. It looks like just raw nitrous coming out of the intake there.
What is that on top of, I guess, would be the engine?
Whoa! What was there, it was a cover for the air cleaner, more or less. See right there, the injectors.
Now I can see it.
Now, what had happened there, he had filled it up with nitrous, and it must have died on him. And as soon as he tried to start it again, it ignited and just blew that cover right off the front of it.
Now, I see Mud Puppy Dana Watson coming up trying to blow it out. Is there any danger here?
No, not really. The only thing that is the foam rubber itself burning. It's just got some nitrous on it, and it ignited, and it's just that burning. As long as they can get it out real quick before it hurts any of the fuel lines, they'll be okay. But most of the fuel lines are all engaged in steel coating, so it doesn't really have that much of a chance of catching on fire.
He didn't have much of a chance. His short ways down the track, and boom, it went up in smoke and flame.
Right there's where you see he tried to start it again since the engine had died to try to back it out, and that's when it ignited.
Well, hopefully he'll be given a courtesy pass for a chance to come back. But right now, it's Buster Smith's turn to test out Mud Muscle.
This looks like an old bucket T coupe here, doesn't it? You get a good chance to see the tires on this, and of course there he takes off. Great hole shot coming through there, straight run. Stan, that was an excellent run.
Certainly was. Buster Smith in that 1927 Roadster.
As you can see right there, look at the rooster tails, them tires shoot up. That's one thing with them paddle tires, they can just scoot right across the top of the mud.
Now, this is a vehicle that doesn't use nitrous oxide, but a great run, 2.93. Let's go down to Mike Goss.
Buster, what kind of ride was it?
It was real rough on the other end. Of course, it's a brand new motor, a new truck. I can't complain with my time. I'm real pleased with it. We're gonna have to work on it, make it so maybe the second run, if I can get a good shot, the car will go a little faster.
Speaking of second runs, it looks like Tony Giannis is back, although missing that air cleaner in Dream Chaser, but he's ready to go.
Yeah, and one thing about it now, he doesn't have that filter on there, so he's got to watch. If he gets a piece of mud down there, he can do some damage to the engine, but it sure don't look like it. He had an excellent pass there.
He certainly did. Got that great start.
He's coming across the mud, just skimming across the top. He gets a little bit sideways there, but he's already through the finish line right there.
Well, the second time was a charm for Tony Giannis. Good time at 2.88. Let's go down to Mike Goss.
Tony, you're the leader, but what happened on your first pass out there?
First run, we had some problems with the nitrous. It backed up on the car, and it seemed like the car leaned out for some reason. I don't know what. We came back, and it seemed like the ignition died when we first hit it, and that's all I could find wrong with it. We come back and, you know, put it back together.
Is this a time that can hold up and win it?
I'll be honest, this is some tough competition. Anytime you come to Newnan, Georgia, you know, you've got some of the toughest competition probably in the country. And all we can do is hope that it can. You just don't never know about these things.
Now, here's a guy who can go after that time at 2.88, laid down by Tony Giannis. Jody Kelly, Spirit of America out of Waxhaw, North Carolina.
He's definitely got the horsepower, 517 cubic inch Chevrolet, blown and injected. Now, the front tires just barely touching the mud. Now, he gets through the finish line straight. He gets a little crooked as soon as he let off of it.
Not bad, 2.89, just 1/100th of a second behind Tony Giannis.
As you can see right here, he's got a great run. The front end's just barely touching that mud. As he comes through the finish line right there, as soon as he lets off the gas, as you can see, he got crooked right there.
This is a guy I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of, Jody Kelly in Spirit of America.
Okay, you're 100th of a second behind the leader. What happened on the run?
Well, this is the first time I run these tires, okay? We're having a problem keeping the front end down on this car with the bigger diggers. This is the first time we ran these scoopers, and I turned the motor a little harder than I should. I should have hit another gear, and I believe I could have dogged them. But I'm shaking, you know, right now. It's a hairy ride. We rolled the car a month ago, and I built this car in 3 weeks, believe that or not. And this is only our second weekend out, so I'm satisfied.
Well, next, it's a guy who means business, Mark Lee in Strictly Business.
Now, this on here, it's got a Chevrolet engine in it. Now, this Jeep body is also fiberglass. Now, it doesn't look as elaborate as that last one. It's more of a stock style, and he does an excellent job coming through there. A lot of horsepower. It's got a nice straight run.
Mark Lee with a time of 3.26.
Now, you see her on the replay. He's got not a whole lot of rooster tails shooting up like them other guys, so he didn't get off the line quite as quick.
Now, gets the Gambler, a quick truck here. Garland Walls, different approach, as you can see.
Yeah, he's coming over to the right-hand side just a little bit. He wants to try to stay out of them other guys' ruts. He does pretty good, except right there at the end, he started bouncing in them a little bit, and that's what threw him a little bit crooked there. He just kind of spins around.
Well, slow time at 3.26 for Garland Walls.
As you can see right there is where he hit the ruts. And as soon as he come up against that wall, that put his back end around. He had a hard time keeping it straight and doing a lot of bouncing. And his brakes wouldn't quite hold him in that mud, and it just made him spin around a little bit.
All right, let's go down to Mike Goss.
Garland, how was that ride?
Rough. A lot of fun. Ain't as bad as last month. I rolled it out there.
It looks like you almost nosed into the wall there. Is there any adjustments you can make in that split second?
No, it's just so quick. You just whip it and hold it. I hope you don't go over. That's it.
Well, Stan, as they say, the only difference between men and boys is the price of their toys.
Well, we'll be back with more of round one action from Coweta County Raceway in just a moment. And welcome back to Coweta County Raceway. And it's a good thing that the track officials are using a laser timing device because only a fraction of a second separates the current leaders. Now, folks, we've already seen a wide variety of different mud boggers. And Rich Hooser takes a closer look at Glenn Seabolt's bogger to describe some of the common characteristics of these vehicles.
I want to show you some of the features that makes a vehicle a mud bogger. For instance, the legal speed here. It's an '89 Chevrolet pickup. But this body is made of all fiberglass. Being fiberglass, it's a lot lighter, and it can go through the pit a lot faster. Now, these tires aren't your average street tires. Now, these things got big old cups on here. It's like the sand draggers used to run. Now, these guys use these because they can get through the mud and just skim across the top. Of course, with a lot of tire speed, they can really kick up the mud. Inside is a roll cage, which is connected to the frame, all with 1 3/8" tubing. Now, this tubing also reinforced and uses as a roll cage to protect the driver. Underneath the hood, of course, the whole front end comes off of this vehicle, is a 538 cubic inch blown, injected on alcohol Chevrolet big block. Now, Glenn Seabolt says that he can take this vehicle through a 200-foot pit in less than 3 seconds.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see if Glenn Seabolt can do it in his 1989 Chevy pickup Legal Speed.
And he's going to have to use all them 538 cubic inches to do it. He's got an excellent pass so far. Oh, nice and clean, Stan.
Excellent run. Look at that, 2.87, a new leader.
And he had a great start. Coming out of the hole just perfect. Kept it nice and straight. He come across the finish line, got a little bit crooked. Let's go down to Mike and check with Glenn, see what happened.
Glenn, you're the new leader just by a fraction of a second. Describe the run for us.
Well, the track's kind of rough, but I'll do better next time. We got to win this one today.
How come? Is this important to you?
Well, this is hometown, you know.
Well, next it's Glenn Dutton's turn in Miller American. This is a vehicle owned by Glenn Seabolt.
And it's another all fiberglass Jeep body. He's running 466 cubic inches of blown motor, and he's going to need it all to take the lead. And he's got a little bit of problem there. He had his front end up in the air too much. He might have done a little bit of work to that 4-link suspension to cause that. Now, they can adjust that to keep the front end up or down. Now, just imagine what he could have done if he had all 4 tires in the ground.
That's right, Rich, because he came up with a 2.89, tied now with Jody Kelly for 3rd. And next up, it's Bucky Dillard out of Panama City, Florida, in Rattler 2.
Of course, he's got a big block Chevy in this all fiberglass Jeep body. Now, he takes off real hard out of the line. He's got a good hole shot, but he has a little problem there getting against that wall. Oh, this is not going to be real good here. 4.67. It's not that good of a run. As you can see, he got a good hole shot, but his front end got up in the air, and it caused him to, he's not able to steer it. Now, when he come across and hit that wall there, he thought he'd just get back in it again and finish the run, but it's not going to be good.
Well, a tough one for Bucky Dillard in Rattler 2 as he drives off to the pits. Looks like he's got a flat tire. How about that? Well, next it's going to be Enos Thomas in Heartbeat 2, lined up a little sideways there.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to stay out of everybody's ruts. As you can see, there's no ruts in front of him, and if he stays way over to that right-hand side, he might do pretty good. Let's see what happens. It did look like it worked for him, Stan. He got way down in there, and them ruts caught him and then threw him over against the wall. As you can see, he just crossed right over him. That mud was just too slick for him to hold in there. Got up against the wall. He was able to finish. Let's go down trackside with Mike and see what happened.
Enos, that was a wild one. What happened out there?
I tried to pull all the way over the side of the track like I done earlier on the other class, and it come to the left and dropped in the ruts. And that was all it was to it. Maybe do better next time.
Well, Rich, that track is falling apart a little bit, but now it's Ben Lake's turn. He's out of Tampa, Florida, driving Top Gun.
He's going to see if he can do something with that right-hand side. Now, them ruts are real bad through the middle there, and he comes across. He's down in the ruts, but he makes a nice clean pass, but only a 3.04. As you can see right there, he started off good. He had a good hole shot. He couldn't. The mud just slid him right down in the ruts, but he didn't go over against the wall like Enos did. Let's go down trackside with Mike, and let's see how he did.
Ben, you're a little bit off the pace. What can you do in the second round to get back in it?
I don't know. We're just going to have to see if we can find a little better spot on the starting line. The starting line's really going away bad. There's just nothing there to get a hold to anymore. Track's getting a little rough about half track and getting a lot of air in the car, and if you can't keep it on the ground, you aren't going to go fast.
He's got a good point, Rich. Next up, it's James Guilfoyle out of Woodstock, Georgia, in Born to Boogie.
The one thing about this vehicle is you can see the front tires and the rear tires are the same. He's running paddles in the front and back, and let's see if that's going to be any advantage to him. He gets a little squirrely. I'm not sure if it did. He's having a little problems with his engine. As you can see on the right side, a little bit of smoke coming out. He's burning some oil, and it's not going to be that good.
Not a good run for James Guilfoyle. And racing continues with round 2 action from Coweta right after this. And welcome back to Coweta County Raceway. Our first round standings, just 2/100ths of a second separates the leaders, with Glenn Seabolt currently in first with 2.87 seconds, driving Legal Speed, and Tony Yanis and James Guilfoyle are currently scratched for the second round of activities. Now it will be Jody Kelly trying to improve his first round time of 2.89, Rich.
1,500 horsepower coming down the track there. He's doing pretty good. I tell you what, this looks like a great run, Stan.
A great run, Rich. Look at that, 2.85. We've got a new leader.
That puts him in first place. As we'll see here on his start, them rooster tails shooting up means a lot of tire speed and a lot of traction off the line, and that's what gave him that fast run. Nice, straight, right down the middle, all that horsepower. Perfect run.
All right, let's go down and check in with Mike Goss.
You're in first place. What was your strategy there on that run?
Well,
They can't, the other drivers hear me, can they? I didn't line up in the ruts. I've made my own ruts. I got the car in a spot I thought it would hook off the line, and I guess it worked.
Well, right now it's Mark Lee out of Clayton, North Carolina in strictly business, wanting to improve his first round time.
407 cubic inch Chevrolet motor in this all fiberglass Jeep body. Running panel tires in the back and gets the front end way up in the air. Look, having a little problem there, Stan. He come across and he hit that wall, and it flipped him right over. Now let's see exactly what happens. Okay, his front end's up in the air, and he's not able to steer it. Now he's got a lot of momentum going, so as soon as he hits that wall, just crawled right up it. And as soon as he steered back over to get it, that's when it flipped. As you see, come back over on all fours. Now, as you can see, that roll cage is all intact. Now, the driver is okay. He's conscious. He's doing fine. Now, the way these vehicles are made, they're light. It's all fiberglass body. Looked like he did a little bit of a body damage, but the rest of the vehicle looks okay.
Well, he's shaking off some cobwebs, I'm sure, and a very concerned wife is holding that helmet. And right now, Mike Goss is down at trackside, ready to speak with Mark Lee.
Mark, what happened out there?
Well, it just got a little hairy and got on the wall a little bit, and the car just come up. Couldn't do nothing about it. Just one of those things, you know. It's part of racing.
First time you've gone over like that?
No, it's not the first time. I've done it before.
Is it something you get used to?
No, it's something you don't want to get used to that. But it's part of it, you know. It's just part of racing.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
What about your truck? How much damage?
I don't know. Just looking at it now, it's might not be too bad. It's mostly body damage, I believe. I don't believe it's too bad. Maybe not.
Well, after a scare by Mark Lee, Enos Thomas is down, looking over the track for that good spot to get a start, waiting for a turn to hopefully improve his time. But first, it's going to be Glenn Seabolt in legal speed.
Now, one thing he says about this, he says he's got 2,000 horsepower, and I'll tell you what, he's going to need every bit of that to beat his last time. And let's see what happens. Wide open. You see them butterflies come open on that injection. Oh, he gets up against that wall a little bit, Stan. It gave me a little bit of scare. Looks like he hit his door. 2.84 seconds. He beat his other time.
We got a new leader.
As you can see right here, he's coming across real close to that wall, and he hits it right there, and that's what his fiberglass is all coming apart on. It's just a little bit.
Glenn, let's work around this door here. You're the new leader. I noticed you pulled to the starting line and then backed up and repositioned. What was your strategy there?
I got over too far and I was missing the ruts. I was trying to line up where everybody else was running.
It still jerked you around pretty good, though.
A little rough ride.
Can you hang on and win this thing?
I hope that'll stand.
And here's another guy who knows all about hitting that left side wall, Rich. Enos Thomas in Heartbeat 2 without that front end sheet metal.
Yeah, what happened when he hit that and he cracked it, they thought, well, just better just take it all off, and that way he won't come up and hit him or get in his way. And it looks like it's working pretty good. It's got a real fast time, it looks like.
2.79. Enos Thomas, our new leader.
A great run here. A great start off the line. He comes across a little close to that wall there, just like he did last time, but he keeps the front end. Notice his steering is working great for him. It's excellent run.
Enos, right in front of you, Glenn Seabolt takes the lead, and then you just wipe him out.
That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game, buddy.
What'd you do on that run that you think was the advantage?
Nothing. I just tried my best to get down the track.
It looked like you were kind of headed towards the wall there at one point. You stay in the throttle?
It was, but I had to stay in it. I had no choice to lose. And I'm not in it to lose.
Well, it's time for our last competitor, Rich. It's Ben Lake in Top Gun. Time to beat 2.79.
And his first round was only a 3.04, and it's going to be an awful lot to do if he's going to try to win this thing. He's got them big tires on the back. Now he's running a little bit different tires in the front. Let's see what can happen. He's a little bit of a heavier vehicle than these other ones. He gets a little crooked at the end, but it looks like it was a good run, but it's only a 3.6, slower than his first run. As you can see right there, he got down in them ruts a little bit. He's shooting up a lot of mud, but he's just not getting down to get some speed up and get them tires going.
Well, the crowd certainly enjoyed the excitement of the open class. We had 3 lead changes just in the second round alone. So congratulations to our winner, Enos Thomas in Heartbeat 2 with a 2.79 in the Open Unlimited class. Let's go down now and check in with Mike Goss.
Here's your winner. Enos, what was the difference between you and all these other drivers tonight in this class?
I just tried harder, I guess. And, you know, I've got just, you know, a real big motor, and it's hard to get it down the track, but when it hooks up, you know, it's hard to beat it.
Well, as the crowd enjoys their own style of mud bogging here at the Coweta County Raceway, congratulations once again to our winner, Enos Thomas. For Rich Hooser and Mike Goss and our entire crew, I'm Stan Rhodes. Join us next time for Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network.